Dondi, and I'm with my sister Titanya.
Hi, everyone.
We really wanted to just talk to you about the five elements, how much we love it, how it has really shaped our lives. We learned the five elements when we were little girls from our mom, Donna Eden. Some of you are very familiar with the five elements. Some of you are like, the five what? So we're going to tell you a little bit about why we love them, what they are, and then we'll provide a link for you to learn more. Titania, how does that sound to you?
That sounds great. Yes.
Okay, good, good. So I think I'll start off, Titania, by just telling a couple of tales about how the five elements have helped me so much in my life. I credit a couple of things with being positive. One is our mom, Donna Eden. We had a dad who was quite cynical and I'll just say it, negative. I know negative is a bad word in this community, but I'm going to use it. Our dad was kind of negative. And I could have so easily turned out that way because I take after my father, and I'm very proud of that. We loved our dad dearly. He's up watching us from somewhere right now. He passed away a while ago. But I love that I can access my positivity, that I can access all the love in the world. And one was from mom, and another is because of the five elements. Because I see that people aren't trying to be hideous people. They aren't trying to lie to me. They aren't trying to make my life difficult. People are people who are sort of contained by this element that they're born with. So this is from China over 3,000 years ago, this system. And the Chinese figured out that we're all born within this sort of container. Now, the container doesn't give us excuses. What it does is it actually expands us, gives us compassion for ourselves and each other, because within this container, we're going to behave a certain way. Our motivations will be driven in a certain way. And then under stress, we're going to default to some pretty crappy, I'm using all the words today, some pretty crappy behaviors. And that's because of our element, this vibration we were born into. Okay, Titania, so here's a quick story. I don't know if you remember this. This was a long time ago. I was in my early 20s and I had a boyfriend, and you probably remember him. I won't say his name. He might be watching. But we were on a family trip, and it was sort of a new boyfriend. You know, you want your family to love your new boyfriend. You want your family to be impressed by your new boyfriend. You want your family to say, "You've made a great choice, Dondi." And it wasn't that way. It was, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's acting like this. I can't believe he's doing this. He's embarrassing me. It does not look like I made a good choice in this boyfriend." And one of the things he was doing was falling asleep every afternoon, right in the middle of like the best event. So this doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're with your family and you've driven 7 hours to this gorgeous waterfall that you've talked about for months because you're going to be seeing one of the biggest waterfalls in Oregon in the entire Pacific Northwest, and he falls asleep in the car. Not only that, you try to wake him up and he's sort of like pushing everybody off, pushing the family off. He needs his sleep. He wants to sleep. It's embarrassing. Mom is the one who reminded me, "Dondi, he's a water element. He's a really strong water element. They can't help it. They often fall asleep in the afternoon. He's not doing anything against you. His body takes over because that is his innate vibration. That is his natural vibration that he was born with. one of the things I love about the elements, and then Titania, I want you to talk, is that each element, water, wood, fire, earth, or metal, water, wood, fire, earth, or metal, each one has a time of the day or night when they come into energy. Each one of them has a time of day or night when they lose energy. And when you lose energy, it really is like you can't help it. Again, not an excuse. Instead, giving us compassion for the other person. I can't wake up at 4 and 5 a.m., which all the yogis say to do. And I love you, yogis, but come on. I can't get up at 4 to 5 a.m. to meditate or do my yoga. That's a very strong wood element. They're up all night. That's their bedtime. They start falling asleep around 2, 3, 4 a.m. So that's one of the things I love. That's just one of the hundreds of things I love. Okay.
And Dondi, to add to that, metal begins to wake up at that early morning time. Those are those times of metal element. And metal element, I have seen many people who gravitate to yoga or meditation who are metals, and that's something that is harmonious to them. So let me tell you a little bit about one of my stories. And this story is about my child. I have loved the 5 elements because as a parent and as a teacher, I can look at my students and see what different elements they are and connect to them and teach to that wide range of students in my classrooms and know who I need to connect with and who I need to save who is falling asleep in my class. But as a parent too, it is a fabulous tool to understand your child so that you can predict what is going to happen and therefore find a harmonizing solution to meet their element. And then therefore you have a better relationship to your child and they to you when they know your element. When a child finds their own element, which I call a little bit of a superpower, and we have animal names for all the 5 elements for children. I have my energy medicine for kids course, and that's in that. So my specialty is energy medicine for kids. But when a child finds their own element, there's a sense of pride that they are so unique in that element. It's something unique to them. Maybe they need their own space away from the family. They need their own little cave, or they need to interact with the family. So the story I want to say, it's not quite a story, but it's a little bit of an example of my child who is a wild child. We call fire element the monkey. And so he's a little monkey, and the fire element is like the social butterfly. They need social interaction in order for them to understand their own individuality, to find themselves in groups. And so this is the fire element. They are the life of the party. They bring happiness, they bring humor, and they need that constant interaction. Fire children are the ones who probably shouldn't be homeschooled because there's nobody else to interact with except the triggering parent, which we all have the triggers in our relationships. And that's what's good about the 5 elements too, is knowing where you are triggered as an element. And that's really important for the adult and the child too, to find out their triggers, what triggers you and where you can meet each other. It's really good to know, but if you know the elements, it goes even deeper and you get a greater compassion. So I too am a monkey mom. I am a fire mom. So we don't usually talk about 2 elements coming together, fire, and we think, oh my God, that would be a symbiotic, wonderful, harmonious relationship. And we usually talk about opposites because usually you're attracted to somebody who is not like you. But every now and then you are attracted to that same like mind, that same sense of play or wherever it is. So a fire parent is a very fun parent. They're always on the go and always thinking about something to make it fun for their child. So that's what I do. And I love to play. I love to play on the playground with the other kids. And they always call me the fun mom. My child is also fire. We can trigger each other greatly. And when we get triggered, I'll talk about me. When I get triggered, my volcano comes up and I explode. I don't like to explode, and I'm practicing not to explode. But when I explode, I yell, I panic, which is the emotion for fire. Oh my God, things aren't going to get done. I have too much on my plate, panicking. And so my child, when he gets triggered, he goes into a full-blown tantrum where he's yelling, he's crying, he's doing all sorts of emotions in between. And it's just, the arms are flailing, the legs are flailing. And so when both of us are triggered at the same time, which usually happens in parent-child relationships, we're both being triggered and our volcanoes are expelling at the same time. I have found that if I look into the wheel at water, naturally water will put out fire. Those of you who don't know elements, but water puts out fire, right? So then I can go to a place of water, of calm. It has been a little bit of a practice to switch my mind. I can do a deep breathe and go in, something to help myself in a moment switch the channel. And my child needs help because children in that fight, flight, or freeze cannot find their calm, and they will finally find their calm to probably around age 23. That frontal brain will come on, but otherwise children need to borrow your calm as an adult. So I'll go to my water and go shh, calm myself, and I'll usually maybe brush the side of his head, which is triple warmer, and say, shh. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes that makes him angry. So I'll just do it in the field. And okay, I hear that you are angry. Are you angry about this? Are you angry about that? If I ask too many questions like a fire, it gets confusing. So I'll stick with one until he answers me, and then I'll dig a little deeper. Don't ask of a fire too many questions. But this, allowing yourself as a parent to find a way to calm down in a situation of triggering can help your child. And in this way, the water, going into a calming place of water, can put out both of your fires, so you're both on track.
That's awesome. I loved all of that. I wrote some notes down because I love how you say you're the fun mom. You are the fun mom, and you're the fun girl. And this shows a difference in our elements because I'm not.
No,
But,
you are.
but no, but it's an important point to make. So I am a wood. I also have a lot of water. So I bring something very different to our kids, to Tanya's son and
Yes.
my son. So Titanya is her name, and we call her Tanya as a nickname. Tanya is so fun with the kids, and they love being around her, and there's a lot of laughter, and there's joy that bubbles up. And then when I'm with them, everyone says, oh, look, she's teaching them something right now. Because for me, every moment is a teaching moment.
Yes.
And it's really, teaching moments can't go on too long. Kids don't like them, and they figure out what you're doing. So then I have to stop, and they go back to Titanya for the fun mom. So I'm the educational mom.
And I want to add that something there, Dondi, because you also hold space. Fires go all over the place, even in their energy. Even if I'm trying to hold space, my energy naturally, as an element of fire, will go everywhere and take up space. You contain space as a wood. Think of wood. It kind of is that sturdy tree that is sturdy and grounding. So I love to go to wood to ground. And also children, like my son needs a lot of reining in. His woody aunt is perfect for that, and he will listen to her and really calm himself down. So I love the two of us working with our kids, Dondi.
Me too, me too. And thank you for saying all that. This is one thing that's so great about the elements, because you figure out, oh, I can pair those two elements up and they'll be great on this work project. Or I can pair those two elements up, or I can choose that caretaker, that babysitter, that nanny, because they'll bring in a different element than I have. So again, it brings compassion, it brings understanding. I want to say a couple more things on the kids. And one is, so I have a teenager, and he is doing that thing of shutting the door, not wanting anyone around, need my private time. And it's pretty stern. I mean, there's not a lot of joy in that. It's get out, mommy. So what do? I go to my knowledge of water types. He has a lot of water right now. Sometimes when a child is developing, or the teenager is developing, you aren't quite sure if that will stay as strong in adulthood. But right now he has a ton of water. And so I don't have to take that personally, because as a mom, you do take things personally. You just do. And when they say, get out, mommy, it could be a moment of, oh my God, or it's, got it, that's his water element. And you go on with your day in a more easeful way. So I want to quickly talk about someone who's listening right now. She's behind the scenes, one of our staff members, but she said something that I thought was so great with her son. So her son has a lot of wood and she has a lot of earth. And that's challenging. Woods and earths have their challenges. Every element has a challenge with another element, and every element does really well with another element. So again, we're talking about these pairings. And when you have a wood son who is seeing things as very black and white, and he's a little bit more stern, and his clarity is coming off as a little bit more aggressive to you because you're an earth and you're all about comfort and love and cushioning, this can feel like tension. But instead of feeling like tension, she was like, oh, I get it. That's the way he rolls. And for me, it was such a great moment, because that's what the 5 elements do. You see, oh, this is the way he rolls. That's his element. That's his wood. So it's fantastic in parenting. We sort of ended up focusing on parenting today, which is totally fine. And
but you can take it into your relationships too. It doesn't need to be just this parenting modality. It's your relationships.
Oh my gosh, my sister.
Because you and I, yes, you're a wood, but you're wood water, and I'm fire earth. So the earth and the wood also have their control issues together.
Yes,
too.
and let's not forget, you and I both have water partners.
Water, yes, water partners. Yes, that's
true. And we have our challenges, but holy cow, we do way better understanding them, because we understand the water type, which is a very complex element. We sometimes talk about water a lot just because it's very complex, and waters, they're brilliant as every element is, but they also have their challenges. I don't know if we're going to go into each element today.
Can I just say something about, because both of our partners are water, just putting that out there. One of the greatest things about water is that they process internally. So you have to allow that time. So as a fire, kind of like the bunny and the tortoise, the hare and the tortoise, that story, me as a hare want to know the answers really, really quick. What's going to happen? Because I'm panicking in my life. And what's going to happen to my house? And what's going to happen to the bills? And where are we going to get the money to pay the bills? And then the water is like in his own little shell processing it. And I have to remember, just allow him the process. Just let go of it. Just let go. Go do something else. Allow that water the process, because they're going to come up with the perfect solution. And I've really had to change my way of, oh my gosh, like giving me the answer right now. And just pull back and allow him to process, because the perfect answer will come with the water.
It really is true, Titania. It's amazing how, if you can have that patience, and hello, fellow Woods, we don't have a lot of patience, but if you can have that patience, you will get brilliance from the waters. You will get brilliance that can take you many years into the future, riding on their brilliance. If you don't give them that time to go off to their man cave or their she shed or go under the covers and think about things, you aren't going to get the brilliance. So knowing this about the elements is so fantastic. Titania, we only have a few minutes left. Would you like to say anything else? Do we want to quickly touch on each element within like 30 seconds of each one?
I think we should, because we haven't said much about metal. So let's just give a brief.
We never do say much about metal.
But they do have their brilliance. They do.
Metals are really brilliant. It's just you and I don't have much metal.
No, except David Feinstein, who we've had to really adjust in our lives, because he's our only token metal in our lives.
Our family.
David.
And he's a really, really strong metal. So, okay, let's go quickly, Titania. You have to remind fires of this. This is going to be brief. We aren't going to go all over the place. Shall we start with water and go through the wheel? Do you want to say briefly about water?
Sure. We said a lot about water, but like that archetype of the turtle going in their cave, I think it's a really good animal to look at, because they go in their cave and then they come out with that brilliance. They need their time alone in order to process, but they have these deep, amazing, profound conversations with you. If you go one-on-one, they're not good in big crowds. They like to be intimate. You take it over from there, Dondi.
Yeah, so I'll use you as an example, because my sister has a lot of fire and a lot of earth. And for those of you who see her on camera, on stage, at workshops, in the public, you see her fire a lot. And it's very exciting and it's very lovable and it's very big energy and it's very happy. And then she also has water. I think it's your third, Tanya, your third element
But
is
it can
water.
come up in stress.
It does come up, yes. But one way I love that it comes up is my sister will go off. She'll do her walk in the woods or whatever she's doing. And then she'll come back and she'll see exactly what needs to be done in the situation. We're having a family situation or a work situation, whatever it is. She'll see what needs to be done. And she suddenly is speaking very slowly, very purposefully, with a lot of profundity and meaning. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from?
I always think, where did that come from too?
It's her water. It is her brilliant water. But guess what? She's not going to get that brilliance unless you give her time for her walk in the woods. All right, moving on to wood. Let's go real fast. So woods are direct, they're clear, they know exactly where they're going, they see a goal, they know how to get there. They're going to assume that everyone's on board with them, and if everyone is not on board, then you're left behind. And it can be very productive in work. Sometimes it's difficult in relationships because the woods power through, they power through. And to somebody like an earth, that can feel like a confrontation, even though it might not be. the wood might not be angry, they might not be feeling confrontational. It can feel that way to the other person because they have a very big energy. It's different than fire. Fire is a big, joyful, happy energy. Wood is a very, we got to get this done now energy. All right, Tanya.
Yeah, I
Wood.
love woods in my life. I love woods being around me because I don't have a lot of woods. I'm very upgrounded. I need to be grounded. So that wood energy, my best friend is a wood, my sister's a wood. I need more grounding, and they are people who get things done. So if you are somebody who is struggling in your business, you want a wood around or a metal to help you kind of, metals are going to organize a lot and see a different kind of stream, but woods are the ones who are going to push it forward. So they are the best coaches too. If you want a life coach, go to a wood, because they're going to put a little bit of fire underneath you. Even though they're not fire, they're going to stoke it with that wood in order for you to see that you are right for going forward, that this is your message in life, because they give you a lot of what is that word?
Inspiration,
Yes,
motivation.
all that.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it is great. Woods can really see what a person's purpose is when they can't
Yes.
see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fires. We talked about fires a lot, but just a little bit more. They are people who enjoy life, they enjoy people, they enjoy the world, and they usually see if they're balanced, they see the positive and the love in everything. And they want to have fun and they want you to have fun.
Yeah,
Anything else?
I want to add with the fires, because we said a lot of great things about some of these and the fires. I just want to say, fire has that big heart. They're always happy. And that heart, we also go into the places of health challenges in our course, and the heart is huge with the fire element because they put their heart everywhere in the world, and sometimes that heart, they don't have enough heart for them, and so sometimes they need to work a little bit more on the physical aspects of their heart, and they're the ones who really need that balance of doing things out in the world and then coming back and trying to bring yourself back, because they get burnt out for all the things they do because they want to be a part of it all, and they feel left out when they're not a part of something. But just remind yourself of the balance, the harmony of going out and in.
Yeah, don't leave a fire out. It's not good. Don't leave them out. They want to be involved in all the fun. They'll lead the fun. Okay, Earths. So Earths are incredibly compassionate people. They are community builders. They like to bring people together. They like to have peace. So they're bringing people together so there can be more peace in the world, and it's a very beautiful element, and they're quite gentle in their being and their energy, so you start to feel the different energies of the people. When a wood just walked in the room, because it's a big energy. An earth will slip in gently. It's a more gentle energy. Titania?
Yes. So with the earth element, oh, yes. I believe that they are kind of like the archetypal mother or the archetypal father that you wanted as a father, the gentle father, the compassionate mother. They are the one that is walking barefoot through a wheat field, and maybe they're pregnant and just loving all of nature. They're very connected to nature too. So an earth child needs to be outdoors. They need that connection. There are other elements like even metal that need the earth, but sometimes the metal can be too much in their studious ways inside, and they need earth very much. But it is that place. I do want to say that they also are big hearts. They love, they love, they love. They are looking to who is left out, who needs love. They don't ever want to leave anybody out. And so in that place, they say yes to the world and sometimes don't leave enough for themselves. And that's a big challenge with earths. And so there's a balance there, and that's a big one because they'll keep on sacrificing and giving to everybody else and not to themselves. And so also with that is they usually have bigger bodies, so maybe a lot more curves, a lot more flesh on them. They are the ones who you want to get up and hug because they have that mothering or fathering presence that is like, oh, thanks, everything's going to be okay now.
They're definitely about the other, servicing the other, making sure the other person shines, making sure the other person feels good.
Yeah.
Their heart is with others.
And that's different, just to say, it's different than fire's love. Fire's love is all about me, look at me, I'm going to give you love. But earth's is connection, connection.
Yes, connection. All right, metal here at the end. We have a minute or two left. So metals are quite serene in their being. They can appear very sophisticated. It's a refined energy, a very refined energy of sort of the quiet spiritual leader. That's what you feel when there's a metal around. They get compared to woods because both metals and woods are sort of the more methodical elements of the five elements. Methodical, they find importance in their work. They're going to do their work well, but very, very, very different energies. The metal energy is much more still, much more quiet, slower than the wood, where the wood is right in your face. Titania, metal?
Yes, metal. I believe that one of the one thing that I always felt, my mom said, so our mom said something early on in workshops, and she always said that the metal sometimes isn't born into joy. And so sometimes metals are always searching for happiness in their life. And this most simplest thing, the blossoming of a flower or the cut of a crystal or a sunset can just really delight them. And I think that sometimes that search for joy, which is sometimes outside of them, is sometimes elusive to them. But that just being grateful for those little tiny moments in a metal's life can do so much because they really honor that part. But I was always so sad being a fire that metals are always kind of trying to find the joy, and sometimes they even don't find it. And then they look back on their life and they go, wait a second, was that it? All my life, every single moment could have been joy. But one of their emotions is grief. Is it grief, Dondi? It's
Mm-hmm.
grief.
Grief.
And there's this you describe this really well, Dondi, this underlying grief that they feel. Sometimes they feel it for the world, but it's something that they can't quite put a finger on. Do you want to explain that? Because I think it's so important to know, because I think that key helps a lot of metals to
Yeah, you
understand that.
did explain it well. You did explain it well. It's almost like this undercurrent of grief. So to other people, they can seem cold and detached, and sometimes they are cold and sometimes they do detach. They like to be alone or with one person. They aren't big with social groups or several people. And I think part of that, even if it's in their subconscious and they don't consciously know they're doing this, I think part of that is that they're trying to figure out this underbed of grief in their life for what they didn't do, for what they didn't say, for what they weren't, for what they didn't enjoy. And yet their container is more of a singular person who really needs to access that joy, and it's difficult for them.
And it's all about the spirituality. They really go in deep and try to understand, but on the outside, it may not look like they're understanding at all to other elements. It's a very interesting thing, but they do really work within.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Titania, I know you need to go. We had all sorts of tech difficulties and you have to go pick up your son. So I will keep talking for a few minutes. And if you need to drop off, please do. It's been great to do this with you. And
Thank you.
it's been
It
really
has been.
fun. Yes, and I want to tell everyone who is watching, you can get more of this. You can get Titania and myself and our mom all talking about the 5 elements. We have this beautiful 5-week journey where you can come to us for about 20 minutes a day. So it's really doable to fit into your schedule and learn about everything. We go really deep into conflict and what do you do with conflict with an earth, conflict with a wood, when you're at each other's throats? How do you get out of that trap in easy ways? And we talk about not only Eden energy medicine techniques you can do, but also communication, quick things you can do in the moment to help with that stress. We talk about the yin yang of elements, which is like a whole different, deeper level. If you are wood, but you're a yin wood and your mom is a yang wood, that's very different. Titania and I both have water. Titania is a yin water. I'm a yang water. That looks very, very different in life. We go deep into that. Mom talks a lot about the yin yang. We have great conversations about kids, about how to identify elements, about who you can work with, who works better in groups, who works better alone, who do you bring into your life because you want more fires or you know you need more woods? What to do with your family when the going gets tough and you're at the holidays and everyone's ready to chomp each other's heads off? What can you do in the moment, in real time, within a very short amount of time, like 30 seconds, because you know the elements, to be able to calm that? So you become very, very clear about life, about your relationships, about who you are, about where you're going, about your purpose. It's a beautiful program. Titania also brings in movement. And you don't have to be a dancer. You don't have to love dancing. It's movement to move your energy lines, your energy points, everything on your body, so you can balance your elements, so you don't fly off the handle, so you don't get triggered, or you just are able to see the world with more ease. So check it out. Go to 5.edenmethod.com. We will put this in the comments. 5.edenmethod.com. Check out the course. Just sign up for the course because you get your money back if you don't like it. If you say to yourself 2 weeks in, you know what, I thought this was going to be for me. It's not for me right now, and I could really use that money for this other thing I want to do. Call us, email us. We don't ask you any questions. Your money just comes flowing back into your bank account. You get it back because we don't want you to take a course that isn't for you. But I promise it's for you. You're going to absolutely love it. We have a huge discount going on right now, only until September 18th. Only until September 18th. On that day, here comes my wood. We close the doors and no one else is allowed in. All right, that's a little wood moment for you. So join us before September 18th. Titania, you're still here. Do you want to say anything else? We're going to sign off.
Oh, I just have loved having this conversation with you, Dondi. And I hope even if you don't sign up, you got a little bit of some information that you didn't know yourself. And you might want to look at our website because we have so much to offer and a lot of freebies too. So yes, edenmethod.com.
Yes. And go to 5.edenmethod.com for the course. Just go look at it and then sign up and join us. Oh, and we've added another bonus. So if you're already signed up and you're in the course, you'll get that bonus. And we're going to add some live. Titania, Mom, and I will be coming on live in November to answer your questions. All right, everybody, that's it. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Titania. Thank you, Carrie. And thank you, everybody, for being in our
Thanks, everyone.
community. Bye.